All right, hello everyone. So today is the 4th of September, and today's going to be an important day. Actually, last week I said September is going to be really important, and we can get some really nice trades in, and we can actually catch the beginnings of major swings this month. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's start as usual. Now, I've put the Astro hours here, and they're also in the members area as at now. So you can check them out. And let's do the video. Now with gold, remember we had this 1950 target last week, okay, and that was the weekly limit, remember? There we go. And the market did not breach that, but today, this week, this is a weekly chart. As you can see, we're breaching it, okay? So this is kind of telling us, listen, we're probably going to go up, and this indecision bar, despite the fact was a target and we wanted to sell here at 1950s, that worked fine. If you sold 48 1950, you can see that was nice and easy there. Now with gold, we're going to be careful until this level here, 70 1951 14. All right, so I'm going to do 1951 into that zone. All right, if the market breaks above this and closes above that, don't muck around with it. Don't muck around with it in any case, and short it off like that until you get to an Astro hour. If it comes down into an Astro hour, going up is not a bad idea. We can take advantage of this weekly push up, and that should at least take us to that 1948-51 range again before the market thinks about what's going on. All right, but if it goes above that, you know, if we break above this 1951 zone, above the high of last week, let's say, right, and stay above there, then that is going to be like tricky. Okay, these are the first hours for today, and this is also not a bad level. But if the market does go down, I think it'll go up to retest as well. So if it goes up, it'll come back down to retest. So in any case, you can trade this zone here, which is pretty good to trade. So this lunchtime is okay. Pre-New York session is okay. And then the evening session, the New York afternoon session will be okay as well. So check your Astro hours. And that's that. Okay. On the monthly, you can see this beautiful sweep and going back up, and it's right on there. It's a bit indecisive, as you can see. Okay. But we'll see how things pan out. Okay, this level is still marked in because you see there's a big gap here which needs to be filled up. So we don't know when that's going to be filled up, but we should look into it for sure. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this here. Okay, I'm going to get rid of that there and see how things pan out. Okay, and we can also get rid of not this one, but there we go, that one there. All right. And that's the good buy case I drew before. So this line is still okay to be trading. The market also has room, like I said, to pop down as well. So it's going to be a bit tricky here. So be mindful. What else? That's it on that one. Let's see on the weekly. Okay, that should be it. On the lower side of things, if we go down, obviously, the weekly pivot is where you're going to be targeting as well if the market decides to go down. If you're using your ATAM strategy, got some good news. Hopefully this will be done for the MT5 soon and it should be a bit more smoother. We should target this first on the daily. If the market does decide to come down, 56.52 is what you're looking at, which is 1932 to 27. So 1932 is here, 27 is there, and 32 is there. All right, which is fine. Let's say. So that green zone is also okay for a target. The weekly pivot, that zone is going to be a target for you. Okay. And also this, like I said, 1927. So at Astra Hours, if you find yourself up here, it's okay to sell. I think it's okay to sell without, you know, taking on too much risk. If you find yourself down here, I think it's also okay to go long because this breakout, could really give us a good push up. So I'm going to get rid of that as well because that's a nice breakout there. And you can see that's like a nice trend happening there. We could push all the way into this zone. SP 500, let's take a look. It's a new month. So this is the monthly. Let's get rid of this. Now remember, we're sellers from the highs on this one. And rightfully so. Last week we sold nicely. Last month, sorry, the whole month. We were like shorting the tops. Okay, so the highs as well as the market came down. So on the weekly, let's take a look at the daily as well. This level. Remember, after the shorting, we said going up. I drew this line last week as well. So went up into that zone. And now we're like, okay, what do we want to do? First of all, we should come back to at least 54, which is 4,488. And then you got 51 as well, 4,472. So the market should fall back down. Let me also put the Astra hours here. Let's do the 623. It's going to be on that bar there. Let me just add them in. Okay, so there we are. So from Friday, we had a nice fall in, which was nice, which is what we were expecting from the highs to sell. And also, like I said, we should be coming into that zone, which is 4,488 to 72. So 4,488 is going to be there. And we'll have 72 down here. So these will be targets, as you can see. And they're logical as well. I got the weekly pivot here. If I just refresh this. So change isn't really that sexy until we get to these lunchtime hours. So you can actually wait for that as well and just chill out. On the daily, this is your first support line. But like I said, this should kind of sizzle down. There is an opportunity to sell up here as well. Why? Because the breakout target there, this high end level, as you can see, is on that one. That line there is your LCL1, which is 4628, which is a bit out there, 4628. Okay, it's a bit out there, as you can see. We'll keep it on the radar, but I'm going to just get rid of these two. And see what we got on the weekly. Now on the weekly, we did that goodbye kiss nicely, as you can see. And I talked about the PST coming up into that zone. So selling from these levels again, I think it's not a bad idea at all. On the monthly, this is your monthly, all right? So that's your zone there. So from here, starting to drip down is an option because we're right on the resistance there, as you can see. That resistance is 60.84 over there, okay? And the highest it's done is 60.36, which is pretty close, okay? So that's 4,563. We can put a number there as well, 4,563 into that zone. So the upper end is okay for us to sell. On the weekly, like I said, this is like okay. If it wants to go up a little bit more, I don't mind. The low of that is 4,528. The high of that is 4,540. So it's already done it. So it's already done it. So what we can do is this. If the market goes up first, we can be sellers from this zone, that zone. If the market comes down first without going up, right? If it comes down first, then we can talk about pushing up. But from the highs, we're definitely looking into selling. Let's take a look at the euro dollar weekly. Okay. Now, this is a nice support. You can see 43.42 on the weekly. So 1.0737 and 70. 1.0737 is there, and 70 is already done, looks like. 0770. All right. If I just refresh this as well. All right, we can see these levels. Now, if it comes down into the Astro hours, going long is not a bad idea. Okay. And that could be around, for this specific thing, 12:15 to 1:30. All right, so 12:15 to 1:30, because those are the hours where 1:30, where the euro dollar's got some relevant planets that can kind of like swing it around, which is fine. And the other one's also is that 3:15 is going to be 3:15 there. All right. So those are more relevant for the euro dollar. And then another relevant thing for the euro dollar is going to be the 8 o'clock one. Okay, so that 8:35 there, 8:30. All right, 8:30 to 9:05. And then you could follow that through as usual, okay, towards the end of the session. Now here, all right, this was Friday. So as you know, with the euro dollar, just like the others, the indices, we're expecting the market to push down. I said if it goes up, we need to sell. If it went up nicely and just dipped down, remember, we're expecting this level to break. And this is a good, this is a good push up. All right, for sure. It's a good push up. So as you can see, it's kind of closing above the swings here and breaching these swing levels here. So the market coming back down to go up again is also an option. And this on the weekly being a support, it's not a bad place at all. This 1.0760, 0737 is not a bad spot. All right. However, though, this line should break as well. All right. So this trend line should break as well. This is the indecision bar and the body is here. So if I just draw a line on there, on that body there, okay, so that 0708 is even on the cards there towards the lower side of things. On the monthly, as you can see, that goodbye kiss on the monthly is 51, which is 1.0918, but it's already done it there. So I'll put 1.0918, 1.0918 on our radar here. Okay, now there are some gaps here, so the market will probably push up first, okay, before it sells. And like I said, buying is very logical in this situation. It's done a nice impulse up, coming back for a double bottom. There's nice divergence here, as you can see. The price is back as low as here, but the energy behind it is not. Okay, so going up at Astro hours from here is not a bad idea. Okay, and the market being a little confused here is fine. This is your Venus line, but we should later tap this line here, our Mercury line. Okay, so if you're trading the euro dollar, going long from this zone here is okay. If you want some precise pricing, here is level. Cover your trade on the daily and the weekly. Okay, and the first hour of the day is actually this. Well, it's not the first hour of the day, but 6:25 there. There are other hours to the day, sorry. Yeah, 5:26 would be a better one. There, 5:26 is that one. Okay. All right, so there you go. It's really basically some planets obviously work better on some assets than others, but at the end of the day, even 352 is not bad here. Okay, so this zone is pretty much, you know, relevant, but this should kind of like push up to take us into there. And look out for your swing days, because Monday is a swing day for the Euro Dollar, SP 500 and Nasdaq. So this could be a nice level for us to like push up into, until the next swing kind of day or price target. Let's take a look at the others: Dow Jones, Nasdaq, and Bitcoin. All right, so we've got Dow Jones here, as you can see. So we're just going to follow through with the sales. Okay, we talked about this level, we talked about the blue zone, and this zone looks like okay to sell. On the daily, we're a bit in between levels. Let's check out the weekly. On the weekly, we are also, and on the monthly, we're right on the support there. If this should break, which is 54, and that's 34,673, 34,673, let's call it 670. Okay, so if this level breaks, then obviously, that's good, because we want to be selling this off. Now if the market goes up, you want to sell off. So where could we be selling off today? Let's just get to 11:15, which is our first hour today. 11:15, then I've got 12:15 here, and then I've got 3:10, and before that I've got 2:15. So this zone 2:15 as well, as you know, these are pre-New York market will start to get moving, and that's your 3:15 there. All right, so what do we want to do? Well, we want to be, our bias is to the downside. Well, mine is anyway. All right, so if the market does go up, we want to sell. Now that level is 59, and that's 35,106. So 35,106 is there. On the weekly, we've got that is just far out. Okay, so we don't want to deal with that right now. And on the monthly as well, this is also pretty much far out. Okay, 34,898, 34,898 is about there. All right, there. So this zone is also okay here, as you can see, right? This zone is also okay to sell off at Astro hours, and the higher level as well. This is also good to sell at Astro hours as well. If you're using your ATM, sell on the lines at Astro hours. All right. So for example, if let's say this is the setup here, right, and it's this price here, as you can see on the LCL1, and then that's the hour, and you want to sell it off, that's the way to go. No selling on the support. Okay. So on the Astro hours, we want to be selling down, and this month especially, whenever the market kind of goes up, want to be selling off. Now, last week I did say we need to keep an open mind for double tops. That is true. Okay, that is true, because the market can go and make a double top this month as well. Okay. In any case, though, when there are legitimate places, like on the PST level, we do want to sell down. Okay. And then like this should break, like we should be falling further down. Okay. And that's how it is. So just be mindful for that one. If we need to buy, you can. You can just do it at the support levels, and don't muck around in no man's land. This is the support on the daily LCL1, 34,695. So 34,695, as you can see, is here. So the market coming into this zone, having some support is also okay. This is also a good target. So selling into the weekly, selling into here, you see this discount zone there, selling into this zone is okay, not a problem. NASDAQ, let's take a look at the weekly. That's a nice push up. Same with NASDAQ. Remember last week, I said we'll probably get into this red line. And I said if it doesn't make it this week, it'll probably touch it next week. And well, hey presto, there it is. That's your HCL1, 15,575. Let's see where we're at. Remember last week, that was the target. 15,575 is there. All right. So if the market goes up a little bit, taps into these zones again to sell, I think it's doable because this will be like, a resistance line for us. Okay. And this is also a sell zone. There's a bit of that's the wick there. Okay. And there's a bit of a gap here. So this is why you also need to keep an open mind for this one, for any double top. But if we, the further we go up, the more we're intrigued in selling. Now on the weekly, this is 71.57. As you can see, that's just going to be far out. 16,259 is just too far out. If we do get there, though, we'll be sellers this week. So on the monthly as well, you can see this is your danger zone where the market can start to topple down. Okay, 15,792. Let's see where that is. 15,792 is up here. I'm just going to keep that on radar because it's on the monthly. Okay, 15,792. Right there. Okay, so I'm going to keep that in mind there. But at Astro Hours, what we want to be doing is selling it off, and that's our bias. Okay, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Now with Bitcoin, remember, I've been telling you to sell all the way from the highs here, constantly sell every time the market goes up, sell, goes up, sell, goes up, sell. Nice breakdown. I said close the gap, market closed the gap nicely, and I said sell the gap, market sold. Now this is also here, Bitcoin. Now, what to do with Bitcoin? As you can see, this is the Venus line there. So we're right on that line, around that line. And it's a bit tricky. The first support of the day is going to be 38, which is 25,759. So 25,759 is there. This is the first support of the day on the daily, as you can see. The resistance is 60, 27,844, 27. Now 27,844 is way up there. Okay, 27,844, pretty much there. Okay, that's fine. And that's a lot of room. Let's take a look at the weekly. On the weekly, then a target can be this HCL, which is 26,777. 26,777. Okay, so around there. And on the monthly, do I have a new month? That is 51, which is 28,950. That's going to be a good buy kiss level, 28,950. That is far out. Okay, so if we do get up there, we'll see how things pan out. Okay, now with Bitcoin, I still say we should be selling when the market goes up. All right, so we should come up to at least the low of that, which is, as you can see, oops, there, 26,960. 26,960. So we should get into this zone. All right, into there, and then we'll think about selling again. All right, and that's basically it. On the weekly, let's see where they match up. Yes, like if it goes up, we want to be selling off here. No selling on the support line there. And then you got 40, which is 25, 210. 25, 210. So that's there. If it breaks below that, you know where we're going. Okay. Anything above that as well, you can see we're going to go probably to the weekly and to one of these levels before considering to sell off again.